Hey, you all. How are you? How are you? This is Miss Washington, and I am going to be talking about chapter 5, and I got a lot to say. So I'm going to try to keep this a mini video. So please excuse me if I go over my time limit of 15 minutes, but it's going to help you out tremendously. Okay. Like I said, chapter 5 is what I want to be delving into. You guys have the book. It is a great read. Okay. Chapter 5 is great because we're dealing with social media platforms and you guys have it. And so I can actually give you more information on other things that's going to be helpful for you all as you go throughout your days and as you go throughout your weeks and as you go throughout your years of being great on your social media platforms. And so um, I wanted to say this. We already know. Well, let me just say this. Your social media platforms, they're literally websites to facilitate networking. That's what these social media platforms are. Remember I said before they're your billboards. And two, I wanted to say this on social media platforms, we have to be very, very careful on what be very, very careful for what you say because they do have memory and you want to utilize them, especially if you're going into business or you're working for an employer. Be very, very careful on what you put out there. All right. Save your other stuff by calling folk up on the phone, but don't put your stuff out on social media platforms. I'm just trying to tell you because when it gets in the air, they can find it anywhere. Yeah, I had to rhyme on that. But anyway, let me say this. On your social media platforms, you guys, and we're going to be talking about tools for each as well. Your job is to convince others that you are worth working with or buying from. That's your job on here. That's why we utilize them. We ain't here just to be playing around. Well, I know I'm not, especially as a business owner. I'm not just on there just to play around. Now, I might use Facebook just to talk to family and friends and just, kick it up. But I'm still very, very careful on what it is that I say. A lot of things is very strategic and it's utilized for my benefit. All right. And so, in that, you guys, I wanted to just say that. Remember, your job is to convince others that you're worth, working with or buying from. And then, two, I wanted to talk to you guys about the different cultures and not just black, white, Hispanic, whatever, but I wanted to talk to you guys too in regards to your baby boomers and your Generation X and your Generation X, your Ys, your all of them because they all come with characteristics, and so that's why we wanted you all to look at your ideal client and look at your create your personas. Remember now, everything is building on top of each other. That's what we're doing. We're building so when we talk about marketing, you are actually know how to build out your campaigns. You know how to connect with your right people. You know where they are. Everything is building on top of one another. All right. And so too, I kind of wanted to start out with the different tools and the different platforms, the tools that you can utilize on these platforms. And then I'm going to go in and talk about who's where on these platforms. And then, of course, some things that are not mentioned that is not here, a tool. And then, of course, we'll just go from there. And so, anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about the different tools that are there and how you can utilize them to the best of your ability. And so when we look at Facebook, you guys, now, of course, when you utilize Facebook, and so let me go here. Facebook, who's on Facebook? A lot of times it's family and friends. You have um, I'm going to break something down for you. But you have family and friends, we kick it or just talk it up on Facebook. And so we utilize that. But some of the tools, of course, we know you can do video, you can do images, you do your storytelling because you can put as much text as you want on your Facebook pages and you can go live. They're creating so much now. You can create your communities. A lot of your businesses have fan pages. We have communities. You can create your own. You can even create groups now on there. And so even with that, you guys, so let's kind of break down what we have on our platforms. You have LinkedIn. Who's on LinkedIn? You have business professionals. How is it designed? It is designed so you could put on there your recommendations. It's designed so you can put on there your pretty much your resume, where you worked for, which school you attended. People that are there are your companies, and not only are they there just to be seen, but they also have their own groups. And in those groups, a lot of times, they're groups that a lot of people try to get into. There is a fee for many of those groups, but they're there on LinkedIn. They have different groups there, which would be very, very beneficial for you that might have, a certain niche, a certain thing that you provide. And so they're there as well. But remember, LinkedIn is for businesses, they're for business professionals. When you look at Instagram, it's designed mostly for photo sharing and for your photo quotes. I utilize photo quotes all the time. I use Canva and I create my photo quotes, or I use my computer and I design, because remember, that's what Instagram is for. It's a mobile app. And so you're able to utilize pictures. You can share. Now you can use so much more. You can do so much more on them. And so, but that's what it is designed for. When you look at your, of course, Facebook, you are able to put your stories there. You're able to provide more content, and you're able to do so much more there. I'm going to break it all down. Twitter is a form of microblogging where it's just a few sentences that you can use, and you can lead people somewhere else to read more up on it. But that's what it's utilized for. And another thing that people don't recognize, and it is not said here, is texting. We are on our phones 24/7, and we're looking and we're sending text messages. What I use, you guys, if I'm doing something and I want to send messages out to the masses, I use what's called easy texting. EZ as in zebra texting.com. I utilize it. You can use it for free, unless you have more people in your database, and so you can also pay for that. But people are texting. Know where your people are and what people are doing, and that way you're able to better connect with the individuals. And so in that, you guys, I kind of wanted to go into the different cultures, and you finding where your people are, what category they're considered to be inside. And so I wanted to break down those cultures. And so when we talk about them, you're talking about your baby boomers. And I wanted to give you guys some characteristics of the ones that I kind of brought up. And so, what are some characteristics, you all, of your baby boomers? They are strong, they have strong worth ethics, all of this stuff you can Google. I mean, this is part of research that I want you all to start looking at doing. You do not reinvent the wheel. Google stuff, and you can find your research. Have strong worth ethics. They're big spenders. Because by now they are established, okay? They use Facebook. They're on Facebook, all right? They're disciplined, they're goal centric, and they're mentally focused. They know what they want, period. I mean, you think about people that you know that are baby boomers, they ain't no plan. They are mentally focused. When you look at your Generation X, they were born between the mid 60s and early 80s, all right? And so they value independence. They value independence. They have a work-life balance. Pretty much, huh? Pretty much. I don't know if you guys might be, some of you all may be in here that Generation X. You actually have to ask yourself that question. Pretty highly educated, and they're kind of techie. They're kind of techie. So now when you look at your millennials, we talk about millennials all the time. They were born between the years 1981 and 1996. They're pretty much ambitious. They have high expectations of their employers. And that's where that title probably comes from them. I don't know if you guys have heard it, but they said a lot of millennials are considered to feel that they are entitled to a thing. But that's probably because they just simply put high expectations on their employers, and they are not afraid to question authority. Those are your millennials, okay? And so too, when you look at your Generation X, you all, they're born between the years 1997 and 2012. They're more folk. They are social, visual. They're very techy. They're most connected with the world. They're on the internet 24/7. I mean, from the all of it. They pretty much know a lot that's happening. And many of you guys here are in that Generation Z. And then of course the next round is generation, I believe it's XYZ is one of those two there. And so when we talk about these social media platforms, you all, it's still about building your relationships with your people. And then you have to know on these platforms how to fish where they fish. Where are they? So if I'm saying that baby boomers are on Facebook, I need to get on Facebook and I need to provide content. I need to decide, evaluate what communities people are in, and you go from there and you utilize this to the best of your ability. Two, this is what I wanted to focus in on too. We know B2C people, it's inside your book. Business to consumers, they're all about the content, and they want to know how can you help them. And you have to be able to educate them, and you have to be able, a lot of times they just, entertain. Can you educate and can you entertain people? A lot of your content needs to be built on a lot of that. And then, of course, when it comes to B2B, we know business. A lot of them are on LinkedIn. And so I wanted to bring this up, you all, because I'm trying to keep my time to a mini video. But I want you all to work on this, and I want you all to evaluate this. So if we say now these social media platforms like Facebook, you can utilize video, images, text, content, storytelling. You can tell a story. You can go live. It's all there. When it comes to YouTube, it's about video. It's about going live. When it comes to Instagram, it's about photo sharing, images, video, stories, and you can go live. When it comes to LinkedIn, you can do video on LinkedIn now. It's about sharing who you with your public, the people that you connected with. With Twitter, you can do the same thing. It's about microblogging. And so I want you all to begin now to think about your skill sets and your very own personalities. Um, when it comes to these things, what are you best suited to put out? What content are you great at writing? Come on now, let's go with it. Are you good at producing video? Are you good at talking? Now, let's think about this. So, if you know you can talk a deer out of running in the street to not get hit by a car, then you utilize your voice to the best of its ability. That's what I always say. Use your talking skills. That's your personality. That is your skill set. That's one of my skill sets. It's part of my personality. Okay, I can talk. Another thing for many of you guys, it could be video. You can create great video. Use it. It could be a tutorial, whatever it is. So for some of you guys, you are great at writing content. You great at English. You can put it all together. You can put the sentence to the paragraphs, and I mean, you can pull your people in. And that's what all of this is all about. It is about pulling people into you. Pull your audience into you. That's what you do. And so I want you all to think about another structure that you can really, really utilize when you're utilizing these platforms, and when you're starting to put you out there, when you're starting to put together your marketing campaigns, which is another thing that we want to discuss. But to evaluate three things that you can do. Some people, when they're putting information out to the masses or to their ideal audience, it's about documentation. Sometimes people like to see your back scene activity. It could be, for instance, you can be a painter or a sculptor. Sometimes people, it's good to just bring people in and you document, hey, this is what I utilize. I utilize this type of canvas. I utilize this type of material before I even really start doing what I do. It could be you showing people where it is that you do it at. I mean, it's part of documentation, because sometimes people want to know the steps to you getting to your greatness. So document your steps. It could be, all of that stuff. All right. Another thing is, you guys, you can utilize your videos and just simply record and educate people on what it is that you do. Tell them how you can tell them how you do what you do. You could tell them your best practices. You could tell them what's best, that equipment they can use. Even educate them on the why. Educate your people. If you're good at video and you're good at recording, do that as well. All right. Another thing, you guys, that I wanted to talk to you guys about is, a lot of times these phones are real. These are not called smartphones for nothing. A lot of times people utilize their smartphones to show people their journey. Show people your journey. That means sometimes you just got to be a little bit vulnerable. I find that a lot of people do not want to do video. They're scared to show themselves on video. And I mean, everybody's there. Initially, I was like, I ain't doing no video. But you begin to realize in order to use these platforms, you have to do it. So it could be you're a trainer and you're out walking and you're showing people your journey, how you lost the weight, how you lost 100 pounds, how you lost 50 pounds. It is literally your journey. So utilize your phones and show people your journey. So remember, you can show people, once again, you can document the vaccine activity that you do. I know one person is here, animate dinosaurs, animation. Show people how you build. How do you document? What do you do? Do you get up in the morning and you say, oh, I'm gonna create this type of dinosaur today? What is it? The vaccines to getting to where you are from there to where you are now. Video, record, show people what you do, and then, of course, utilize your phones and show the journey. However you want to utilize them, but utilize these social media platforms to connect to your target audience, to bring and pull your people in, and make yourself fun. Make people say, hey, this person is worth watching. This person is educating me. This person is entertaining to me. Utilize them to the best of their abilities and know what culture you're dealing with. I know what culture won't work for me. I mean, I just know there's certain things that I do that certain cultures will not connect. Just depends on what it is that I'm doing. I'm a fun person, but I know my focus. And a lot of times what I do, you guys, I might run something and then I'll look at the platforms, I'll look at the demographics, I'll look at who's connecting more with looking at my information. And that's all part of marketing. It's all part of social media marketing. And once you get to that point and you evaluate it, it's going to help you guys along so much. And that's what I wanted to say in regards to chapter 5. I know on our Zoom call, you all, I'm going to be talking about branding online. And let me say this before I even go there. There's a difference between your brand and branding. I'm gonna leave that up right there, and I'm gonna let you all think about that before we get to our Zoom conference call. It's something that we need to discuss, and then we'll probably talk more in regards to your content creation. But as you all have seen, we're in the building stage. You have gone from understanding what social media marketing is all the way up to creating your persona. So let me just say this. Who is I don't know if I said this, but my persona for one of my companies for the customer culture, my ideal persona or my ideal audience, you know what it is? It is a female HR director um, who is between the ages of 45 to 60, and they are the HR directors of Fortune 500 companies, universities, or colleges. And why? Because they already have employees. And they already have the employees have to connect to the clientele, they have to connect to the consumer, they have to connect to the students. What did I tell you all before? A lot of times I get called in when there is a crisis, and it's always coming from, HR hits it all. All right. And so you see how focused it can be. And that's why we wanted you all to focus in on your personas, make it easy on yourself, understand the strategies behind it all. That's part of what we do. This is part of this course. All right. And we want to make you all better. And so you're not fumbling through and putting the cart before the horse. That ain't gonna happen up in here. All right. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you later.